I am a biomedical engineer, software engineer, and entrepreneur who has been in the situation of not knowing what to do with their life. And trust me, I understand. It really, really sucks sometimes being in that state of uncertainty. But this video is going to help you, young engineer. I'm going to help you decide what you want to do by following a really easy 3-step framework that helped me personally pick exactly what I wanted to do in life. Let's start out with the simplest step. Are you actually interested in engineering? Do you watch content about engineering? Do you enjoy the classes you take about engineering? Are you somebody who you can envision being an engineer in the future? If you don't, and if you don't like engineering, and if you're only doing it to satisfy, let's say, your parents or maybe some sort of societal standard, then I really hope that you reconsider picking engineering. There are a lot of different fields in which you can make a ton of money, become very satisfied and very successful that aren't engineering. It's okay if you don't want to do it. But if you do, if you follow this content diet, if you have a lot of YouTubers and people who you follow who are engineers, then I really recommend that you do this one thing. But before that, somebody in my TikTok comments left a comment that says, "Bro is not Mark Rober." But the fact that I'm even being compared against him shows that maybe you should subscribe if you're interested in engineering and self-improvement and all that. Okay, let's get back into it. It's find somebody who you admire. This isn't something that I was able to do for the longest time because I wasn't really surrounded by people who were engineers. My dad was a plumber, my mom did real estate, and a lot of people around me just worked normal jobs. There wasn't anybody in my life who I could specifically look at and say, hey, that is the person who I want to be, until I started watching YouTube. I think I watched Michael Reeves' video or one of William Osman's videos about his laser cutter, and it just got me so interested into the world of engineering that I literally watched every single one of his videos that night. So in my situation, in which I didn't really have anybody to inspire me or nearby, I just picked somebody who I would want to be and just kind of envisioned what that life would be like for me. So I saw William Osman doing mechanical engineering. I saw Chubby Emu, I think that's his name, Chubby Emu, doing like a bunch of healthcare stuff. And I was like, how can I combine these two? Because I just love both. I love helping people and I love building things. So I picked biomedical engineering as my major. I also had really great high school professors that kind of guided me along the way of making this decision. I envisioned what my life would be like if I were to be like my professors, like the people who were doing the thing that I liked doing. And they lived pretty good lives and they seemed like they loved what they did. So I was like, sure, why not try this engineering thing out? And I did. And it was the best decision that I've made. Remember, as an engineer, even if you do select one style of engineering, it doesn't mean that you can't eventually pivot to another one. As an engineer, you have the skill set to solve problems. And that leads me into my second point. Who says you can't be two different types of engineers? I personally believe in this era of AI, free education, and just content that literally comes out of your ears, you can figure out pretty much anything, not only for engineering, but as a person in general. So let's say you do civil engineering as your major, but 2 years into your program, you start messing around with software and you feel like, hey, this software engineering stuff is actually super interesting and I'm getting into it. There's nothing wrong with pivoting from civil to software or staying as civil and keep working your way up until you can work for a civil company that maybe develops software for civil engineers. It really depends on what you want with your career and how you are enjoying the current learning process, right? This is something that you have to be strategic with as well. Because let's say 3 years or 4 years into your major, you just say to yourself, oh man, I really don't like this civil engineering stuff, but I really love software. And it's already been 4 years or 3 years into your program. Is it better for you to completely drop out of your civil engineering course and focus only on software? Or would it be okay to work both in tandem? So you would have your civil engineering degree that you finish out, and then you work as a software engineer on the side. You're learning, you're trying your best to gain skills from whatever free online resources, and you're just stacking your current class schedule with extra courses from software engineering. This is what I did in order to become a software engineer. I was a biomedical engineer, true and true, for my first 2 years of college. But after I worked at Johnson & Johnson and saw the capabilities of both AI and the future of technology in healthcare, I knew that software was going to be where it's at. I felt as a biomedical engineer, the best way to help people is by doing something that has the most amount of leverage. The most amount of leverage you can possibly get with a product is through software, because it's pretty much free to distribute, you can charge any price you want for it, and it's pretty much accessible to anybody as long as you have an internet connection. So with that decision in mind, I said, I'm gonna be a biomedical engineer, but also a software engineer at the same time. So I took biomedical engineering courses and software engineering courses, and during my third year, I got an internship at a medical software company. See how I was able to combine both of the two? So this kind of leads to my next point. Differentiating yourself, like saying, hey, I'm a mechanical engineer, but I can also code, I can also look at drawings for architecture, I can also do all this other engineering stuff, can really set you apart. So after that internship, I worked at another software company, and that's the company I'm currently working at now. And my title is full-fledged software engineer. So did you see how I made that transition and that switch? This is evidence and proof that shows that no matter what you decide, you can still switch and change to the thing that you really actually want to do. It doesn't matter what you pick now, you just have to pick something. And try your best to get as close as you possibly can with that first decision. Trust me, it'll save you a lot of hassle and time in the future. And this leads me to my third point. If you're struggling, like you feel like you don't know what to do, it's okay to ask for help. This is something that I was really bad at in the beginning of my career. I had people telling me, you should become an entrepreneur, a plumber, go work for your family, right? But what I realized is that advice that comes from people who you aren't asking help from is usually projected advice, because they're probably struggling with something, or they're probably have some sort of conceived notion of like, what is the best solution for you? But it's not really you asking the question, right? It's like somebody can just walk up to you on the street and say, hey, you should be a mechanical engineer because my brother's a mechanical engineer and he makes lots of money. But you don't know the story of this guy's brother. Maybe he's sad. Maybe he doesn't actually really like his job. You just don't know. So you have to be the one who goes out and seeks advice. And this kind of goes back to my first point when I talked about try finding somebody who is in the stage that you want to be at, or somebody who's a role model to look up at. The people who ask are the people who learn. If you're not asking, if you're not questioning, if you're not somebody who takes the stand and actually goes out and seeks knowledge, then you are going to be left behind. Because guess what? You can learn anything, and I mean anything, using the internet and using other people who have already experienced the same thing that you're experiencing. I mean, why are you watching this video? You're trying to figure out a problem that you have, and you don't have to watch YouTube for it. Go up to somebody and ask them for help. Don't get unsolicited advice. Obviously, if it's from your parents or somebody who you love, like take that advice and information as you will. But if you are looking for a good solution to a problem that you have, ask everybody you know. Ask your advisors, ask your teachers. Just get perspectives and opinions from people who have been in a similar situation to you. And you wouldn't really imagine it, but a lot of people have been in a similar situation for you. I mean, you're watching a random guy on the internet and he probably felt the same exact emotions as you did. It's okay to say to somebody, I respect you so much that I'm curious, how did you get to the level of success that you did? Any successful person is not going to be afraid of telling you how they did it, because they have probably been in the same situation that you were in. In my experience, really fit, jacked people who have worked really hard to maintain their physique will never make fun of somebody who is overweight and running at the treadmill in the gym, because they understand how difficult it is to get to their level. So if they see somebody trying to get to their level, all they can say is good job and keep going. And obviously not everybody is like this, but it's the same thing with engineering. People want to help you because people see themselves in you when you are in the same situations that they were in. You really need to be tactical. If you are going to switch, if you do feel like the thing that you're doing isn't what you want to be doing for the rest of your life, it's okay for you to switch. But don't give up all the things that you already learned, because these skills and these things are 100% transferable. Remember, engineering teaches you how to solve problems. A civil engineer, a mechanical engineer, and a biomedical engineer all share one thing. They are problem solvers. That's all engineering is when you really boil it down. So don't throw away an education in one thing to do literally the same exact thing in another field, right? Gain skills. Get the ability to communicate with people. Learn things that are transferable to all domains in engineering and in life. And go out and seek knowledge. Really, it is up to you how much you want to learn and how good of an engineer that you want to be. It's not okay for you to say to yourself that the education is not there, or there wasn't enough resources for me, or it's too difficult. That is an excuse, because guys, we all know, especially with AI, especially with the free education that is online today, that it's pretty hard to not learn anything. Like, you could get the most specific thing in the world and you could probably learn it. Like, there's a YouTube video about it. There's a blog post about it somewhere. Somebody has probably done something that you are already working on. And that's a good thing, because you can learn. You can save yourself the aggravation, the time. And when you do need to learn something, you're gonna have the skill from the person who did it already, and hopefully you can, push that off to the next person. You can teach the next person by making a blog post or making a Reddit thread or something like that, right? So overall, young engineer who doesn't know what type of engineer they want to be, I believe in you. You already, like I said, are an amazing person for selecting engineering as the thing that you want to do. Remember, be as tactical as you possibly can, ask for help, and try your absolute best to be the best version and best engineer that you can possibly be. I'm certain that you got this. My name is Matt from the Alive Company. I hope you learned something. And if you're interested in productivity and how to track your time better, as you are probably going to need as an engineer, especially in college, please check out my Notion planner over here, which helps you time block your time and set yourself up for success. I worked really hard on it and really appreciate you guys checking it out. Peace.